Hi lovely knitters, and welcome to the Laura Creative Knitting Podcast, episode 3. I'm so happy you are here. I hope you're having a wonderful start of the new year. I am Laura. This is my podcast where I talk about all things knitting, everything I love about yarn, about new patterns I'm finding, and of course what I am knitting on. So for today's episode, I have 4 finished objects, 4 whips, and of course some plans and acquisitions. So we have a lot to talk about today. Grab yourself a project to work on and let's get cozy together and let's get started. First, I'll quickly mention what I am wearing today for today's episode. This is the Sundial sweater by Iris Makes. I made this in 2023, so it's an older knit of mine. And I like the beautiful sundial motif in the neckline, and it goes all the way down. Also, the arms have the same design, the same motif. I knit mine using Drops Flora held together with Drops Alpaca Silk, which gives a beautiful fluffy fabric, which I really love. But unfortunately, my gauge was a bit off, a lot off. So it's a bit too big. But now, when I'm almost 39 weeks pregnant, so now it fits perfectly. So it's the time to wear it. But I really like the sweater, and I might knit it again and the correct gauge in the future, but we'll see about that. Then we can get into the finished objects. So my first finished object for this video is actually two items. It's a pair. It's my felted slippers. So I used the community slippers pattern by Quist Knits, which is a free pattern. I have a whole video about this. I will link it so you can find it. So I won't go into too much detail about these today. I don't want to repeat myself too much, but these are just so lovely. You can see about when you look at the shape, I've worn them a lot, but they are so nice, so warm, so sturdy, and I love knitting them. So I used a roving wool yarn for this. My gauge was completely off, but I still managed to make these beautiful slippers using the free pattern from that video. So these ones were a really win. I've worn them a lot, as you can tell. And I have actually, so it uses 1 ball of the yarn I used for each slipper. So I used 2 in total. I have 1 of this Bordeaux wine color left. And then I also have a gray one. So I might make another pair with stripes, because that would be nice as well. So that might be in my future, because I love these so much. My second finished object is a really small one. It's this little cute hat I made for my son. I actually didn't use a pattern for this one. I hand drafted this one, but the design is based off the all-weather hat by Strikke Stoffe. So it's actually like a double brim with tiny ear flaps for the ears of the child. So I didn't use a pattern. I cast on from the top with a disappearing loop cast on, and then I did the regular for like cross increases until I had enough stitches, and then I switched to double knitting. Well, I did a piece of stockinette stitch. I switched to double knitting until I thought I had enough brim length. Then I did a double knitting cast off, which was challenging but fun. And I picked up the stitches. Well, no, they were still on my needle. And then I continued with the 2 ear flaps. And I did like an incorporated I-cord edge on each ear flap, and then did the I-cord straps so I could tie it around his little face. So he has worn this a few times, and it's just so cute. So cute. So I know I will make him one for every age, because it's actually really snug. So I might have to make another one already, but this is just the cutest. It just keeps his face warm, his ears warm. So it's really good for the weather we were having right now. So it has really been snowing outside, really cold. So this is perfect. I used the Sunday yarn by Senna's Garn for this. And I used less than a ball of yarn, maybe even half a ball of yarn. I will weigh it and I will let you know. But this is also definitely a big win for me. So not a finished object for this month, but I actually also made myself a beanie with the same yarn. I think I showed it last time, so we can kind of match. This is also double layered, and then I fold it over again, so it's triple layered, but then the same increases I did at the top. So also disappearing loop, and then I knit down. So it's actually the same technique, only difference is the ear flaps. So the same yarn, so we can match. My next finished object is also a little hat, actually a bonnet. It's this one, the Barely Bonnet, I think it's called, by Pure Stitches. I was completely influenced by Inga from the Knitting Traditions, who is also expecting a baby very soon. And she knit this one for her, I think, daughter she's having. So I thought I want to do it as well, because bonnets are really good for newborns, because you can tie it around their necks, and so it doesn't move too much. I did make a little mistake. I placed the ears too far back. I think they're supposed to be here and here. So I think when you put this on the baby, you will not really see the ears that much. I tried to remove the ears and replace them, but it was too hard. So I'm just keeping it like this. It will be cute anyways. So I used some leftover I had from Drops Baby Merino in this brown color. So I think it will be really cute. I also did my ears a little different. Normally you're supposed to knit for each ear, 2 garter stitch ears, and then seam them together, place them inside out, and then sew them on. But I just did 1 layer of garter stitch with then the incorporated I-cords for each ear, so a little less work. And I think they look cute as well. So if I will make this again, which might happen, I just need to make sure I place the ears at the correct position. But the pattern didn't really tell you where to place them, so you actually have to look at the pattern pictures, but I didn't do that, it's my own fault. So this is also a very cute finished object. My last finished object and my pièce de résistance, I'm just really proud of it, is the Stamford sweater by the Knit Pearl Girl, which I modified to have a zipper. So this is it, I finished it completely. It's ends are woven in, I've blocked it, so it's completely finished. I'll put in a picture from it hanging on a hanger, but this is it. So you can see it's just actually the exact pattern from the Stamford sweater, but instead of doing a button placket, I did a zipper. I added a zipper and a zipper facing. So of course it was not in the pattern how to do the zipper facing, but I knew how to do it from previous projects. So you can see the inside is perfectly covered with the zipper facing, so it looks really nice inside and out. So if you wear it open, it looks neatly polished and finished. It is very cute, very nice. I'm so happy with the results. For this sweater I used Drops Flora in the color red. Held double, so 2 strands of the Drops Flora together. I really like the drape it gives to the fabric, so I think I made the right yarn choice for this one. It was also in stash, so it's nice to get some yarn out of stash, and I love the color. Such a nice red color, just makes me happy. Bit the holiday appropriate as well, but so nice. Actually, this is the last project I managed to finish in 2025. So like the 30th of December I finished this one, so it was a tight fit, but I did it anyways. So I will probably do a roundup of all of my knits of 2025, but I'm actually really wanting to do some try-ons. And yeah, with my pregnant belly now, most of my knits don't really look nice or fitted, so I'm going to wait a bit, and probably in the beginning of February I will post my Everything I Knit in 2025 video, including this one, because I really want some finished object pictures with it on, because it deserves it. So that was all of my finished objects. Now we can get into all of my whips, which are also a lot to talk about. I'll start with the one that is a bit lingering, which I haven't knit on a lot. I don't know where I was on this project when we last filmed, but this is the Fluffiness sweater by Rita Koch. It's the second time I'm knitting it. So I finished the body, and I am, well, not half of a sleeve. I started a sleeve and did a few decreases for the sleeve. I also did finish the neckline, so I'll always like to put in the neckline because it gives a better finished look to the whip. So this, as I said, is my second version. The first one was a blue one. I wear a lot to work, so I thought I could definitely use a second one. I use the same yarn, but of course a different color. It's this one. It's from Veritas, called Babette. You can see it's a big ball of yarn. And I think I only have to do like 1.5 sleeves, so this will be enough because it's a discontinued yarn. So if I'm out of it, I'm out of it. But I think this will be more than enough. Maybe I can even make another small project with this one. But haven't been knitting a lot on this one because I've been really hyper focusing on some of my other whips this month. So my main focus whip from the past few weeks is not anymore, but was this one. It's the No Basic Sweater by Anne-Catherine Stoll. I've talked about it in a few episodes, I think. So this is it. It's actually a modified hybrid version, let's say, from the pattern. So you have in the pattern 2 options: a stockinette stitch sweater, like all over stockinette, or an all over cable sweater pattern. But I chose to make it like a hybrid, so the front and back also are stockinette stitch, and then the side panels and the sleeves will be the cable pattern. So I was a little bit worried that the pickup might not be very neat, but it looks very good. So gauge-wise, I don't think there are any issues. So my little experiment is working out, so I'm really happy about that. I also added the collar recently, folded it over. So that is that. But I made a mistake. And now I don't know what to do, so maybe you can help me. So the construction is you pick up for the side panels and then you knit this way, and then you put these sleeve stitches on hold and just keep knitting a few more repeats on both of the sides panels, and then you do like a 3 needle bind off. But I was supposed to do a number of repeats here and then do the bind off, but I didn't do the same number on both sides of the sweater. So the right side, I didn't repeat more before I joined than this side. I did one less, so meaning that the armhole depths of both sides are different. So maybe if I hold them up, yes. So you can tell that I didn't join them on the same repeat. So what to do now? So there are 2 options, or I can undo the 3 needle bind off on one of the sides. I don't know which one is the correct one, the larger armhole or the smaller, and reconnect it and rip out some of the ribbing, rip out some of the cable, or I could just leave it like this and hope no one will notice, but I know that's the bad idea. So I should probably rip out one of the sides and redo it. But I don't like doing that kind of stuff. I was so hyper focusing on this project, and then I noticed my mistake, and since then I haven't touched the project. I'm just kind of ignoring it and ignoring the mistake I made. But I have to finish it because look at how pretty it is. It looks so good. I just have to fix one of the sides, then do the sleeves and the bottom ribbing, and then this will be done. I've also used a very nice yarn for this one, pure cashmere yarn. And it is so soft, so I know I will love wearing this one. So I hope by the next podcast I will have fixed this and I can show maybe like one sleeve, or maybe the bottom hem will be done. I really need to motivate myself just to fix it, because it will be worth it. It will be worth it. So next I'll talk about my newest obsession knit, which I cast on a few days ago and I haven't been able to put it down. It's called the Stornoway sweater by Coco Amour Knitwear. And this is what it looks like. Well, this is how my version looks. So very colorful. So this is what I did in just a few days of knitting. So as I said, I've been obsessively knitting on this one. It's really hard to put it down. It's like potato chippy with every color change or change in texture. But there's actually a little story behind why I cast this on. So I really like the podcasts of those twins who knit, and they recently published their video on all of the knits from 2025, and they did I think a knit along for this pattern in 2025 for the Stornoway pattern. And Jessica, one of the twins, she knitted in this red stripe and a beige color, and I saw it on their 2025 knits video, and I was like, okay, I need to recreate this one. I need to, and I just threw away my other whip, ran upstairs to my yarn stash, because I knew I had the yarn in stash for this one, and I was wondering for a really long time what I would do with that yarn. Drops Nord and Drops Kid Silk both in the color caramel, which I used for my Cove sweater by the Knit Pearl Girl, a sweater I really love. And I had like 4 skeins of this Drops Nord left and 2 or 3 of the mohair. So I knew I wanted to do like a striped sweater, but I didn't know what pattern to knit. And it's a difficult color to, I think, pair with another other color for a striped sweater. But then I saw Jessica's version with, she didn't use a caramel color, more like a beige, so lighter. I will try to insert a picture. And she combined it with reds. I actually had a few skeins left over from the Stamford sweater. This Drops Flora in the reds. So I was like, perfect stash busting project. So these 2 colors, 2 colors combined. So I'm holding this one double and these 2 together, which gives approximately the same gauge. So perfect for this knit. I'm absolutely in love. So it has like beautiful textured stripe in the main color, and then in a contrast color just stockinette stitch stripe. So it's a lovely, lovely pattern. Although the pattern is written to be very oversized, I think 34 centimeters of positive ease, which is way too much for me. So I'm, of course, modifying the pattern so it suits my preferences. So I did a lot less increases on the back. So you start at the back. I did a lot less increases. I also have more stitches on this part because I thought it would look nicer with the contrast color, that there would be like almost the same amount of centimeters. So that's a little modification I did. And of course, then here I did a lot less increases in the hopes of having less positive ease, because even the smallest size for me would have way too much positive ease. So that's a wonderful thing about knitting, that you can just modify every pattern to every need you have. So that's different from store-bought sweaters. So that's why I love knitting. I just modify everything so it is exactly how I want it. So I did a lot less decreases. I may do a few less pattern repeats on the body. I don't know yet. I will probably steam block it mid-project to know how long I want it to be, because of the texture. I've seen on Ravelry that a lot of people say it grows a lot in length. So I need to take that into account. Also, I read on Ravelry, and it's true, that the back part was very confusing in the pattern. So, but I read it up front on Ravelry, so I knew what to expect. I read all of the tips and tricks on how to do it, like with Intarsia, because you have like this color, and then you have the contrast color, and then again this main color. So it's a bit difficult to figure out. I didn't do the neatest increases. Well, actually it looks kind of good. Both sides. Well, here maybe I could have done better. But only that one stitch looks a bit off. All of the other stitches look really good. So I did a good job. So this is my newest knitting obsession. I think I will run out of mohair for this one, but we'll see. I'll probably have to order 1 or 2 extra balls of mohair. I do find the Drops Kid Silk a bit scratchy, a lot scratchy and itchy, and so I don't know if I want it near my neck. So I was thinking of maybe, instead of for the neckline at the top, where I hold the Drops Nord with the Drops Kid Silk, that I might just hold Drops Nord double. so I don't have the mohair in my neck. So that might be something I do, but I'm not anywhere near that part yet. So yesterday I cast on one last project, which I can show you today. It doesn't look like much yet because I just started yesterday, but it looks like this. Well, it's actually, now it looks like this, but it's knit flat and it will be seamed later. So it will be some baby pants. These are the Estrella d'Alva baby pants. So I've knitted them once. I really like them, so now I'm knitting a second pair. So if you watched my 2026 knitting plans video, you know I wanted to cast on a pair of baby pants for the baby that's coming. So this is what I started on yesterday. So I still have to do a lot of knitting, but it goes by really quickly because it's just a baby project. So I hope I will have this finished before baby arrives, but we'll see. I also want to make a matching cardigan for this one. Well, actually maybe a white cardigan with blue stripes that are hopefully left over from this yarn, and then probably a matching bonnet or hat in the same color, but it all depends on how much yarn I will have left. So this is the yarn I am using. It's a sock yarn. It's a tweedy yarn. Really nice dark blue yarn with like beautiful speckled colors in it. So I really like sock yarns for baby knits because you can throw them in the wash. They are usually like a fingering weight, hard wearing yarn that you can throw in the wash. So I really like that for baby knits. So that were all of my whips. Then for acquisitions and plans. Yeah, actually acquisitions is this last yarn I showed you that I used for the, I am using for the baby pants. I got 2 skeins of this beautiful tweedy yarn. And then I also bought 3 additional skeins of this Drops Flora in red to be able to finish my Stamford sweater, but it turned out I just needed like 10 grams of one of the balls. So I have those 3 skeins left, which I'm now using for my Stornoway sweater. So those are my 2 most recent acquisitions. I didn't get any yarn for the holidays, which is very unfortunate, but maybe next year, or we'll see when I get some yarn again, because I love to receive yarn as a gift. Perfect gift for me. And so for plans, for 2026 plans, I have just released a whole video about all of my plans for 2026, so I will not repeat those here. So you can watch that one if you're interested in my plans. I have a lot of plans, as I do every year, so I don't know if I will be able to get them all done, especially now that I'm just doing some dopamine knits without any preparation. I'm just casting on what I want and not really following my plans. Well, these pants are according to plan, so I'm doing something right. So then I guess that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed knitting on your own project, and let me know what you are knitting on, because I always want some more inspiration for new patterns to knit. And I hope I will see you soon. So if you like this, don't forget to subscribe and like and comment, because I really love that. It really means the world to me. So see you soon. Bye-bye.